Hi, it's Amber, a Roguemamastitcher from Instagram. This is my second Flosstube, and I'm very surprised that anybody actually watched that last one. So thank you very much for all of you who watched that and bore with me the whole time for the whole 40 plus minutes. I believe it or not, I am going to try to keep this one shorter today, and I am really going to try. But it's a lot of stuff that I love that I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to talk about or discuss with you guys, actually, like if you're into it, and hopefully you're into some of the same stuff. So there's samplers. I've noticed on Instagram, like there's a lot of people that are really into samplers, and I couldn't solely do samplers, but I do love them. Some of them, some styles. I love modern, like more modern samplers. So that, and then I want to, talk to you guys a little bit about like elegant ladies, and like Marbeck, and talk a little bit about like some Bronte and some Austen books, and film. So that doesn't sound like it will be short, does it? So I first got into samplers, shocker, when I was doing Christmas stockings for my my brother's family, my brother that's like about 3 years older than I am, and we couldn't decide on one for him. I couldn't like get agreement with him of like what he would like or what he'd be more enthusiastic about, because I want people to like them, if they're gonna keep them and display them in their house during Christmas. So anyway, so I kind of was like, well, if he's not going to be that enthusiastic, I don't want to like spend a lot of time stitching what I give him, even though, samplers do take time. So I think I found a happy medium by showing him a sampler, and he seemed to really like that, just be like satisfied with it. So from my scrapbook, I will show what I did for him. And this is from that book, The Stockings Were Hung, that I showed last time. So, this, yeah. So I think I just changed the colors around on that one just to make it match more like a masculine kind of colors. I think the other one was, the original was like red and pink. So, and then, he has mini kids, and so, I did do another sample, a couple samplers for his kids, and then the other ones are not samplers. So his little girl, I did this sampler, and kind of changed just a couple things around. So I love this finish. We did, I always did like satin on the inside, if you can see that. And then this one, the outside with the piping and the backing, it was a faux fur, and see the little XOXOXO on the bottom there? Those were supposed to be, I think it was lazy daisies. I didn't know how to do them, so I just thought I'll just give her lots of hugs and kisses, and she was a little baby at the time, so that works. Sorry, it's a big book to heft. So the original that I did, that was a sampler for that last one for his little girl, was from this book. I think I showed this last time, the Christmas stockings and cross stitch, and I just want to show like the different color choices that they had. So they had this color choice with like the pink and the red and the orange. And I thought that was so beautiful. I think it's more like a hot pink, not really red. And then this one is the one I went with. Because, oopsie. So there, like, I don't know if you can like see the lazy daisies that they wanted, that was originally instructed to do. So anyway, so there's that for the couple of the first stocking samplers. There's samplers ever that I did. And then they have a younger child, boy, that it fit to do another sampler because you know, I wanted to kind of like be like that, like every other one. It just kind of ended up being a pattern. So you know, to do every other one. So I actually with my, I don't remember if I had my husband help me with this one. I think I did this one on my own, but I used this program called Pattern Maker. Maybe this is like dinosaur technology for like the new like cross stitchers. So maybe you're just like, oh, whatever, that's so old. You know, you use something like way better and faster. And if you do, please tell me, because my husband would really appreciate that, because I ask him to help me sometimes and he just gets kind of like, there's got to be something better. But I hate like buying new stuff if something works for me and I like it. So anyway, so this is what I used, the Pattern Maker for cross stitch by Hobbywear, to make this sampler. Maybe I'll just open this page. There we go. Maybe I won't have to pick up that heavy book. So this one is what I made for one of my nephews, and it's the night before Christmas. It's like a partial of the night before Christmas poem. So, you know, it says, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. So I changed this one by Margaret and Margaret, because like the further you get into like you know, a collection, you know, of like a family, I think it's kind of like harder and harder to make them kind of go together, harmonize. So that's why I kind of start to have to get a little more creative the more people in the family. So this is the original, really where I got the idea of you know, his sampler, the younger boys. So you know, I think I reversed it, and yeah, I reversed it, and yeah, just put like, instead of what was on the, I changed these little flowers, the little buds on top, to a different Margaret and Margaret from the same set of like the Night Before Christmas poem. So you know, just like those blue, like those pretty like blue flowers, because his dad has the same buds on the top of his pretty much. So I wanted him to kind of have something different. So, you know, as I said before, more individualized. So anyway, and then I'm trying to remember where it was from. I have a book with like frames, kind of like framing around your pieces, kind of designs. So that's where I got this design from, the candies. And then this, I got that from there. And I cannot remember. I think I also got those flowers from that that book. If I find it, then I'll share. So oh, and also a lot of, I really should know where I got those, but a lot of it came from that book of the little like kind of sample frame thingies. So like a lot of this stuff, little ornaments and all that. This is one of my favorites ever because it's just so fun, and I changed the colors out to match the rest of his family's stockings so they'd go really well together. So hopefully they do, and I think they do, so I'm happy with that. Anyway, and then the other Margaret and Margaret that I have is like stocking sampler that from the night before Christmas, I got this one. So one day I'll probably make it or use it for something else. And then they have an awesome like Charles Dickens collection that, you know, it's really just fun and has like quotes from Charles Dickens, Christmas Carol. So anyway, that's the Margaret stuff. And the other one I have, which maybe I shouldn't even show you, but because it's not like an example picture, but I got this one. You know, I just bought the straight up like pattern, and I love this one. It looks really good when it's all finished. So one day maybe I'll do that one. I don't know. It just seems like fun and simple, and you know, just something I would enjoy to give somebody one day. Okay, so the other thing, let's see, was the Bronte samplers. Like, you know, as cross stitchers probably know, and people who embroider, like, you know, needlework has been, you know, pretty much from the beginning of time in our world. I think, you know, I mean, it's been for at least a couple thousand years, a few thousand years. So, so I don't know, like I always like feel more like when I actually, you know, think about it, I feel like connected to like the past that way. You know, kind of keeping your tradition alive, I guess. But one of the things I, you know, love to see, speaking of like connection, is like, I love film and I love classic books. And so seeing, you know, cross stitch in film is pretty, like, it's just like kind of a thrill, like a little cookie or, you know, something in the, or an Easter egg rather, I guess it would be called an Easter egg in a film, for me, for a cross stitcher maybe. So I wanted to share some of the films that I think, you know, or that do have needlework or cross stitch in them, and also share some of the Bronte samplers with you guys. If you guys are familiar with the Bronte family, like the authors, Charlotte, Anne, and Emily. So Charlotte, everybody should know about Jane Eyre, right? So Charlotte is the author, or was the author of Jane Eyre, and their aunt, Branwell, their mother, I think it was their mother's sister, so when their mom died, their aunt moved into their house, and she, what I was just reading recently, and I'll put the article in the description so you can read the article, but the Aunt Branwell, she was a stickler about making the Bronte sisters do their needlework, their cross stitch. So and I guess they didn't like it. I don't know. I mean, it sounds like they were like hard workers. Like they had to do their needlework in order to like put that on. I think it was like for I'm trying to remember now. Like it'll be in the article, but needlework would be like part of how they presented themselves in society, or like, I don't know if it was for employment or for school, like entry to school. I think it might have been entry to school. Sorry, I can't remember everything I read. It was a few days ago. But I thought that was amazing. I had no idea. I'd be set if I could just show all my cross stitch, I think, to get into school. So get into a job. Anyway, so this is Charlotte's sample. Oh no, is it going to show up? Charlotte sampler that she did when she was 6. Oh, there it is. Okay, it's focused. So, yeah, it's like amazing work, right? For when you're 6, especially, because I was double that age when I started, and I thought I did okay. So her, I don't know if her aunt chose this quote for her, or if all the girls chose their own. So hers is, "My humility and the fear of the Lord are riches, honor, and life." And it says, Charlotte Bronte finished the sampler the 25th of July, July, at the age of 6 years. And I I just think that is awesome that there's still that sampler in existence. Like we still have a piece of her talent left behind, you know, even though we have the books, and that's awesome too. But I love that they had to do this needlework, and that we have this, you know, legacy left from them. And it was just such a huge part of their culture and their life in England. And then, let's see, Emily's. I know I have Emily's somewhere here. Do I not have Emily's? Oh, sorry, I don't know where Emily's went. Emily is, she's one of my favorites, so I really do want to show you Emily's. I'm so sorry, I'm gonna have to like look that up really fast. So once I figure out how to like edit, then I won't waste so much time doing this. So let's see. I lost it. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so here's Emily's sampler, and she did this when she was 10. So it just says Emily Jane Bronte finished the sampler April the 22nd of 1828. So that was her work, and you know, it's good. Okay, so then the last one is Anne Bronte's sampler. Okay, and she did that when she was 8 years old. And it says, it is first better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. Psalms 118 verse 8. And then the next quote, let me die the death of righteous, I don't know what that says. And let my last end be like his. And it looks like it's saying Numbers 23. And then it says Anne Bronte finished this sampler November 28th, 1828. So, Anne seems like a very serious young lady. And actually, she's kind of, I think she's like the lesser known Bronte. She wrote a couple of them that did, you know, get published, and I think they're, you know, kind of well known, especially if you're like a Bronte fan. Yeah, she tackled the hard stuff in Tenant of Wildfell Hall, and I absolutely adore Anne Bronte. I feel like she had a lot of, like, I don't know, she seemed like she had a lot of insight into kind of like the, you know, female psyche, and maybe had a little bit of, you know, maybe, I don't know, she almost seemed like she understood like the worst kind of men and then the best kind of men, and, you know, because the husband of her main character in Tenant of Wildfell Hall, he's just a total, I think, narcissistic alcoholic. And her heroine, Helen, she is, you know, just totally selfless and just wants to, you know, help this guy be a better person, and that's the pretense that, you know, he gave her if they, you know, to get married. You know, he said, you can help me become a better person, and she's this young, naive girl, and so she's like, oh, of course I can help you be a better person. You know, I'll help you change. And anyway, if you know, ever want to watch the movie, it's pretty severe. It's pretty harsh, the movie. Kind of adds some stuff in there that's not in the book, because I don't think the book would have been published because of certain things that I don't think were like really maybe publicly addressed back then in the 1800s. But anyway, so I got a couple of these books from, you know, like 100 years ago or so. But they're, I mean, I'm guessing because they're the kind that don't have the date in there, but I looked it up and I'm pretty sure that they are from the late 1800s. But anyway, aren't they gorgeous? I love them so much. Classic books are just, antique books or vintage books are just some of my favorite things to collect. So kind of mixing that in there because I just wanted you guys to see how beautiful those are. So they weren't super expensive because they don't have the date, and they're part of like this whole set of the Bronte Sisters books, and it's just two. So they broke up the set to sell them, so it's, you know, less expensive. Anyway, and you know, I absolutely love Wuthering Heights, and Wuthering Heights, the book, which is more harsh than the movies most of the time. So this is my most cherished, beloved Wuthering Heights book. So, you know, just, I feel so blessed, lucky that I found that on eBay, you know, back in the day. I wish we had antique bookstores more, you know, where I live, but yeah, no, not too many. So I get lucky at the thrift store sometimes, but to find a Bronte or like an Austen book that's like 100 years old, I don't think so. So anyway, so I got this at Barnes & Noble a long time ago, the Bronte Sisters, the 3 novels. Maybe some of you guys have this, but I think this is like the most beautiful book. So it has like, I'm sorry, these are backwards, but Jane Eyre, Wuthering Heights, and then Agnes Grey by Anne Bronte. So Wuthering Heights is probably my most favorite one out of that group. So speaking of Wuthering Heights, so this is my most favorite Wuthering Heights movie. I think there's like a ton of them. Oh, that's got like water on it or something. But so there's like a ton of these movies, but this is my favorite. This is with Merle Oberon and Laurence Olivier. And in that movie, it's 1939, I believe, they have Catherine, the heroine, heroine, right? They have her cross-stitching, and she calls it my petite point. So here she is before Heathcliff walks back in her life, before he destroys her life. You know, she helped, but but see, she's got a cross-stitch stand and she's all happy with Edgar, and her cross-stitch stand's awesome. I think mine's, you know, kind of like the wood, like dark wood look like that, and maybe that wasn't on accident. Anyway, and then that's the piece that she works on. It says, yes, we're all, let's see, we're all angels, even my little petite point hero. So, and she's said, I'm just putting the wings on him. So I thought that was awesome. When I was younger and I watched that, I was like, hey, she's cross-stitching or doing needlework. But it looked like cross-stitch to me, petite point. So if any of you guys are more familiar with that, just let me know. It's okay, you know, I don't mind being corrected as long as people are polite. Let's see what else. And then, so cross-stitch in, you know, film or embroidery in film, you see that in the Pride and Prejudice with Colin Firth in 1995 and Jennifer L., where, you know, at the beginning, everybody knows the theme song, dun, 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 you know, and they have the embroidery going, and that's, you know, beautiful also. So, you know, hats off to the embroiderers out there. I'm sure, you know, I'm sure there are many. And then in Sense and Sensibility, they have a scene where they're all working, all the girls are working in the garden, like Eleanor and Marianne and the mother, I believe, are all working in the garden. Excuse me. And they see Edward coming, and he's a gentleman, and they don't want to be seen working because that was considered, I think, like shameful or just low class, and so they want to be high class. And they were more high class, you know, before their father died, obviously. So Anyway, so they run inside and they take off their aprons and, you know, wipe off their hands, and then they pick up their needlework and act like they were just working on their needlework. And I love that scene. It's so, so cute. So anyway, Sense and Sensibility. I'm sure you guys all are familiar with this. Hugh Grant, Emma Thompson, Kate Winslet. And then Emma with Gwyneth Paltrow. What was that year? I can't remember the year, 90s sometime. But that has Emma, I think, maybe cross-stitching with her friend Harriet, and Harriet is an orphan, and you know, Emma's very high society, and so she, you know, gives Harriet tips on how to make a neater stitch. So that was really cute. And then, you know, just on the vein of the, oh sorry, that's probably loud, Austen and Bronte. I just watched Austen Land last night, and they have the most hilarious part where they're trying to, so Austen Land with Carrie Russell and JJ Field, is that how you say it? And then Jennifer Coolidge. She is so hilarious. I love Jennifer Coolidge. Anyway, so there's this part where they're all they're pretending that they're high society ladies back, you know, in the Regency era, and they're, I think the main character Jane, played by Carrie Russell, she's trying to cross stitch, I believe, and she looks like she's actually doing a really good job, and she's like the most into it, and the other two ladies are just there for the men. So it's really cute that that she actually is like super into it. And then the lady, Miss Charming, her Regency era name, she's trying embroidery, and she embroiders her you know, what is it, like fishnet gloves into her piece, and then her front there looks like a messy back. So it was just the best part. If you guys have not watched that, you should watch it. It's really good, especially if you're an Austen fan. So yeah, that was about it for the Austen and Bronte you know, cross stitch in film that I know of. And then the other one it's really sticks out in my mind is when Helena Bonham Carter and the Mel Gibson and Helena Bonham Carter movie Hamlet. She's cross-stitching or embroidering in one of the parts where he comes in and you know, proceeds to, you know, or resumes kind of ruining her life. Is this a theme? And she's like pleasantly enjoying her her needlepoint, her cross stitch, and then, you know, some, you know, reckless man character comes in and disrupts all her peace that she's having. Anyway, so that's the Hamlet, and, you know, in the 90s. So, let's see what else. And okay, and then I have one last question for everybody. What should I do for if I do like a 1,000 followers giveaway? Like, you know, what would you guys recommend? I mean, you guys see, you know, kind of what I do on Instagram probably if you follow me on Instagram. So, you know, I don't know if like other cross stitchers want cross stitch from someone else who cross stitches. Like, you know, you guys just give me your opinions, please. Like maybe like a, you know, like a pillow or something like that, like with you know, the Soda Stitch like Zodiac on it, or there's one that's like the Korean Zodiac that's like, you know, the rabbit, the pig, the dog, the horse, you know, that kind of a Zodiac, and the dragon, snake, sheep, like those are so, I love those so much, and I haven't made all of those yet, and I can make those into pillows. I'm just a little less familiar on how to like match the colors for those, but I could do that. And then I'll give you an update on my Elegant Lady from by Rebecca Waldrop. So, oh, that was like way too close to my face. I'm so sorry. Just switch this around. Okay, there we go. Oh, don't look at my messy house. But yeah, that's where I'm at with her. So Arcadian Angel, and then my needle minder, I just wanted to show you guys, has been the Wuthering Heights, by Emily Bronte. I love this needle minder, and I can't remember who did it. Sorry. And then, but maybe if I can remember who did it, then I can put the link to her Etsy shop on there. And then those are the Agnes little minders, needle minders, and yeah, I think that was all. So, I know, there was one more thing. Okay, so I wanted to show you my first Marbeck Elegant Lady, and it's actually my sister-in-law's stocking. So anyway, I love it. It is one of my absolute favorites. And the piping is like micro velvet, so it's super, super soft. And then the satin lining is like this olive green color that matches that green in the middle of her, well, in the middle of all that fabric, the main dress. It's probably going to be like the messiest edited video ever, so I'm so sorry. That was pretty rough. So thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope that didn't feel so much that I was talking to you, but hopefully like discussion. But I'm so new at this, so hopefully you enjoyed that, and I will definitely make another Flosstube. Probably my next one is going to be about, I think it's going to be about Soda Stitch. So Soda Stitch next, and I might talk about Soda Stitch and Shakespeare. I know it seems like maybe they won't fit together, but I think they can, and it won't be like mainly about, Shakespeare. So, because this is more about loving cross stitch than books and like film and plays and stuff. But to me they do intersect. So anyway, have a great day. Happy